stop being lazy. Yeah. And I became creative. Yeah. And I learned how to create it. And now that pride's for me. So come see. Oh, come here.
Welcome back to the Silver Lining Podcast. I'm your host, Sterlington. This is your host, Cameron. And we here to something. I don't know what word I want to use for it, but we're here to do something when it comes to the Falcons. This past Sunday, Falcons dropped one in Carolina, 30-0. Team looked like a steaming pile. We didn't give a rapid reaction because the data says that y'all don't watch this shit anyway after a loss. And that's when it's a close loss. I can't. We probably have negative views after a loss like this. So we let it cool down a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You know, when you heating up a sword, you don't hit it right at the when it's still bright pink. You let it cool a little while you hammering that motherfucker. So we didn't let it cool down a little bit, but it's still piping hot, man. What about how you doing, Cam, bro? What's up with you, man? How do you how you process?
Things are good, man. I've taken a couple days to calm down, reassess, gather my thoughts, come to terms with my place in the world as a Falcons fan. I've come to accept that I don't know. I wouldn't say we're God's least favorite, but we definitely ain't one of his favorites.
Man, we just around, bro.
We just around, man. We
go missing for 3 days, go on a whole adventure to get back to the house. I don't even notice we missing.
Ooh, we.
Like, you were gone?
Yep.
Oh. This is news to me. All right, so we got a lot to unpack here. Got to talk about the Falcons, the franchise, the state of things going forward. I mean, look, we could. I really wish I could look at this game, look at this regime, look at something, and say, look at the franchise's history. Just look at something and say, there's no need to overreact, right? It's one bad game, because at the end of the day, that's what it is, one bad game. But it was. I'm trying to think. I wish I would have put together a list. This is one of the worst games I can recall seeing the Falcons play in the last 10 years. I think about, the worst losses, right? Obviously, Super Bowl, that was the worst and most painful loss, but obviously, to make it to the Super Bowl, the team had to be doing well. It was just a bad moment, really. Really, one play change in that game and we could win that game easy. I think about when Arthur Smith's first year, when we played Dallas, got smoked 43-3. Then subsequently on Thursday at home, we lost to the Patriots 25-0. So over the course of 2 games, we got outscored 68-3, including a shutout home loss. And I'm like, yeah, that's just as bad. But then I thought about it, and I'm like, well, Dallas, their defensive coordinator was Dan Quinn. That was a head coach the guy who knows this team inside and out, and he's very motivated as a coordinator. Probably got that defense super motivated to make a point. But got to get one for Quinn. And then I go think about Bill Belichick. And that was Bill Belichick without Tom Brady, so it's not yesteryear, but that was the last year Bill Belichick made the playoffs as an NFL head coach. So his team was at least good enough to be a playoff team. And that was a short week for us, and clearly we didn't have it together. So, ain't no reason to think we would have it together. Now, usually home team got an advantage, but hey, that wasn't the case. But this game, we got smacked around by the Panthers. And more importantly, the team looked completely and utterly unprepared from a coaching standpoint. Penix couldn't hit the goddamn broadside of a barn with a baseball. Like he was missing everything. We couldn't field anything. Returning kicks ruined the field position for the offense every drive. Except for the one drive where DeMarco Hellens recovered a fumble on a muff punt. Parker Romo missed both of his kicks. Mm-hmm. They weren't close kicks. Very makeable, though. We saw you make one last week that was longer than the 49-yarder you missed, and the 55-yarder you missed was only 1 yard longer. But as soon as he missed the first one, I gave him a little pass. I said, hey, kicking outdoors different than kicking indoors. And I did peep that they didn't cut Koo right away. Speaking of which, Cam, you got some news on Koo for him?
Koo was picked up by the Giants.
So good luck to Koo. Appreciate everything he did for our franchise. But I'm not gonna lie, I hope he starts smoking kicks, man. That's all I need as a Falcons fan is for him to, be as inaccurate as he was, and then go to another franchise and figure it out. It's gonna piss me off. Like Falcon curse in full effect.
Honestly, the complete opposite for me. I'd be happy. I'd be like, good for him. And I'd be like, that just goes to show we just don't know how to make good decisions. Like, it's just all the way through the organization, poor decisions have been made. Like, I always questioned hiring Jimmy Lake and Zach Robinson.
Yep, you did.
And my biggest problem with them was the fact that they were first-time play callers.
Yep.
So you get your second chance as a head coach, your second chance, and you hinge your bets on two first-time play callers? Yep. No one with experience? Come on now.
And
like
with we keep the plan of being a CEO head coach. Like he ain't say, all right, I'm gonna hire a first-time coordinator, but I'm calling the plays. No, you want to have your hands off of it. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, he did. And now look at where that leaves us. We see after this week we have a Ike Hillard firing. He was the receivers coach.
Yep.
And then we gave his duties to TJ Yates, who takes along this in a side with his because he's a receiving coach. Well, no, he's a passing game coordinator as well, so he'll be doing a little bit of both. And I'm hoping.
Is he still a quarterback coach? I know they promoted somebody else to a quarterback coach.
No, he's a passing game coordinator. That's his role.
So no more QB coach. Okay.
Which I'm like, you know what? Maybe this can help because there's been a little bit of a discrepancy between Penix and the receivers. Man, they haven't been eye to eye
at all
in any game. He's expecting them to do one thing and they're doing another. So maybe they're not coached correctly. And then also, like, if we keep it in the buck, you mentioned it before, like Michael Penix is his accuracy and his mechanics, man. Like, he's got a great arm. He's got great talent. He can process well. But at times, he couldn't do the simple things well. Like you said it yourself, he couldn't hit the broadside of a barn at times. I'm like, he was inaccurate. And I feel like some of those inaccuracies were just due to mechanics. So, I mean, we'll see how things shake up. I mean, he went 18 for 36, 172 yards, 2 interceptions. Pick sixes, too.
Easy open throw.
Missed a lot of easy open throws. Hey, his receivers didn't do him any credit either. I
He
didn't.
dropped a lot, yeah.
They dropped all the passes. I didn't think Darnell Mooney looked good either. Things just didn't look good, man. We just, as a team, we looked poorly coached. And for me, that is unacceptable. Just for on a like that is a fireable offense. Like this team can't be poorly coached. And they looking poorly coached. And I'm like, why would we passed up on Bill Belichick to bring in Raheem Morris, who was gonna bring in 2 first-time play callers, bro. Like, god damn, dude. Like,
You looking like that hindsight right there, boy. That
and it's
hindsight
just
got you
like,
in a bad way. You all right, Kim?
and that's kind of why I said I was like coming to terms where I am as a Falcons fan. Like, I'm not saying I'm becoming a doomer, but I've realized that I can't hedge my emotional bets on these dudes. I just can't do that. I just can't do that anymore. And I think that's just, that's part 28-3. That's part of just realizing that, hey, we haven't really been good since, that 2018 season? 2017 season?
2017 last
That
year was in the playoffs.
2017 season? That was the last time we were good. That was the last time we were good, man. And the last time I enjoyed watching their offense, I didn't really enjoy watching our offense in 2017. I felt like it was kind of stagnant at times.
Yeah, 2018 was the last decent offense, but
But like, I feel like, man, I really haven't had fun watching our offense in such a long time. I'm like crazy. Like, we had Matt LaFleur in the building, passed up on promoting him to bring in Steve Sarkisian, which I think was a move you do because Dan Quinn's trying to protect his job. Because if he starts losing, then boom, Matt LaFleur becomes a hey. Like I'm spiraling and whatnot. We getting off topic here. We talking about this game.
yeah,
But
I'm gonna do that too. I think
like
right.
as a Falcons fans, conversations always kind of lead here. That's if we're just being candid, they always kind of lead here, bro. This is like I don't even know how to I don't even know how to describe that event. It's like
So let me tell you, right? So when you talk about being a Falcons fan, it's because you get your hopes up. So for me, I think the hardest part is that they always do just enough to trick you into getting your hopes up a little more.
Hey, talking to the mic, my brother.
Oh, can you hear me better now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I was saying one of the hardest parts about being a Falcon fan is that they do just enough to give you hope that they're about to turn the corner, to give you hope that, all right, this is gonna be the one. You know what I'm saying? And then they screw up royally. This is one of those games when you talk about coaching and preparation. This is the second week in a row where we have had issues getting the play call in fast enough.
Dog, I almost
No,
had a
not second
connect.
week, third week, right? Like I think we had issues against the Bucks. I think
Yes,
every
bro.
game we had to call a timeout because we're running out of time on the play clock. And I'm like just watching it, and I'm like, bruh, we are in the huddle, and we are breaking the huddle with 7 seconds left. That is inexcusable. Like it's so crazy. Like I'm watching it, and then Zach Robinson likes to call a lot of plays that have motion. So it's not like you get into the play, getting set and snapping the ball. You still expect to be able to move guys around after the snap and get in position to run a play. To run a play that's not going to get anybody open. So, yeah, man, no, Zach's offense is not doing it. Zach, we scored 3 touchdowns this year. That's it. We have scored 3 touchdowns this year. One of them was not even in the red zone area. One of them was the Bijan Robinson taking a short pass and making an explosive play. It wasn't even a deep shot that Zach Robinson called. You know what I'm saying? And we were very critical of Zach Robinson both last year, leading into this year. Look, through 20 games, I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed. I would even say we've played worse each week on offense, right? So
We've actually we're regressing.
yeah, so in week 1 we scored 20 points. Week 2 we scored 22, but week 1 we scored 20 honest points. We scored 20 points with no turnovers, no big returns, nothing easy. You know what I'm saying? We scored 2 touchdowns and 2 field goals. But in the game against the Vikings, we scored 1 touchdown, and they kind of got out the way to let us do it. We went 1 for 5 in the red zone that game. You know what I'm saying? And all we did was score 22 points. And we had, what, 4 turnovers? 3 of them during the time of play, although one of them was on their side of the field. But there were ample opportunities to score points that we did not. And then we come in this game and we can't even get in the red zone? We missing kicks. And then, the main thing that just happened in this game is that when you want to talk about the weaknesses you see with Zach Robinson's offense, Michael Penix Jr. had the worst game I've seen him play since his senior year in college when they played Arizona. And speaking of which, I'm about to get off topic a little bit, but off topic but on topic. We talked about Michael Penix Jr. About to get into that. So I watched a video. It was a gentleman on TikTok. I don't have a TikTok account though. Somebody posted it on Reddit. And I wish I knew the guy's name. I would like to shout him out. Maybe maybe I'll plug the video that he had in the description. But he pointed out some deficiencies that we saw from the Falcons receivers, from the play calling staff, but also primarily with Michael Penix Jr. Now I've championed everywhere that I could say it. On YouTube, as a person with a limited social media presence. So on YouTube, on Reddit, I was like, yo, Michael Penix Jr. got a problem with his feet. And one of the biggest ones is that he picks his front foot up on a lot of throws and then the pass is inaccurate. And it was like a direct, almost one-to-one correlation. So I'm watching, obviously, when you draft a guy, you scout him. God bless the good folks on YouTube. Somebody posted all of his throws throughout all of college. It's like an hour-long compilation. Watched them all. The good thing about watching the compilation is you start to notice patterns. You see that when Michael Penix Jr., like he'll spray balls even if he keep his feet right. But if his feet aren't right, if he picks that front foot up, it's always going to be a spray. That's just it's 1-to-1. So to fast forward, watching through all the games that senior year, Washington scored a lot of points in a lot of games, right? But one of the games where they really struggled that was so strange against an unranked opponent was that Arizona game. It basically looked just like this game that we saw here, where he was just missing guys and his receivers were off. But in that game, the coach was still able to put together something for them to score 15 points, and they were able to hold Arizona to like 10 or something. But in this game, Michael Penix Jr. had 2 bad turnovers thrown to the boundary. I'll point that out because Michael Penix Jr. does not like to really throw across the middle. The thing that we have to do with regards to Penix is keep perspective, right? Penix is a rookie. I know this is his sophomore year. He just got to his second hand as far as how many games he has in the NFL, right? So he's going to have some bad habits. And, me and Cam were talking about this before we got on the pod. It was like, yo, I think he need to get himself a private QB coach. I think, that's a legitimate mechanics issue that he's going to need to work on. And much as it scares me and pains me to say, that particular element of his game, I don't think is going to get fixed this year. I think that's something that he's going to have to fix in the offseason with a specialist that worked with him just for that. Woo! And what else we had to talk about with this offense?
Dog, when you said they weren't getting the play call in, and like my mind immediately went to, of course, this Panthers game where we call a timeout because we can't get the playoff.
What we do after the
Call a
timeout?
timeout, can't get the playoff. And then we get to the line of scrimmage and can't get the playoff again.
Woo!
That is the definition of poor coaching. That is inexcusable.
That is inexcusable.
There are excusable things and there are inexcusable things. This is an inexcusable thing, man.
Like, it's so inexcusable because it's like, did they not use the same play call? Did he not know the play call before he went out on the field after the timeout?
Like, bro, I don't know what it is, but
Shouldn't have even needed a headset. Should have just walked out there and called the play. Everybody should have already known the play before he got on the field.
that's what I'm saying. But yeah, that kind of pissed me off. Shit, offensively, man, we've been predictable. We're showing our hand. We running so much damn pistol. I'm sick of it.
Yeah, man. What's one of our biggest issues with Zach Robinson that we missed? We think is a key element of a good offense. Sorry, I'm taking an acid right now. I got a little acid reflux.
Explosive plays, man. Being able to create somebody open.
Yep. I'm like, hell, he got Michael Penix Jr. and can't take advantage of his number one strength. And now we're seeing what his weaknesses look like when they get forced on display. And now, half the fan base, at least on Reddit, they turning on Michael Penix Jr. They calling for him to get out because they like, hey man, I forgot that Matt Ryan used to have bad games as a rookie too, because
He
we
went
make the
11-5.
playoffs.
Yeah.
Hey, making the playoffs do a lot for that memory, boy. You be like, honest to God, you look at Matt Ryan's stats from the first year, really not that impressive. But we were talking about this before the pod too, man. Everybody remember that Bears game at home.
Ooh.
8 seconds left and moving down the field. You can't forget that. You know what else you can remember too? First pass being a 62-yard touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
Got them kind of memories in your head, but unfortunately for Michael Penix Jr., a lot of his best memory moments coincide with losses, and now he got a game where all of his worst moments coincides with a big, unexpected loss. We put it on the thumbnail before the last game. We said it's a trap, maybe. And a lot of y'all did not agree with that. If you say it wasn't a trap because there's no such thing as a trap game in the NFL, that's fair enough. There's not. These are 32 well-paid, well-organized teams. That's a strong term for what I'm going to call the Falcons. For those who are listening only, I'm putting up my fingers in quotes when I say well-organized teams. Because some of these teams ain't well-organized, and ours might be one of them. And, there's no reason anybody should be taking anybody for granted in the NFL. I'd say, yeah, that's true. But for people who are just dismissive of the fact that our offense look bad, I just hope for your sanity as a fan that this was a wake-up call for you. I'm not here to gloat because what is there to gloat about? We got smoked. I'm not happy about it. You know what I'm saying? But look, it's time for us to go ahead and calm down. Let's not get too excited the next time the Falcons win. Because look, I can almost guarantee the Falcons going to win one of these next 2 or 3 games or something. That's a game that they shouldn't win. Because that's what they do. They make you feel like, oh, fuck this, I'm out the man in the season early.
Mm-hmm.
Then they come out against a team they got no business beating, and then they beat them.
Mm-hmm.
They pull you back in.
Mm-hmm.
And then right when you out here talking shit to all the other fans of other teams, and you booking your Super Bowl tickets, and you buying commemorative jerseys and shit. What's gonna happen, Cam? How you like to phrase it?
Kicking the dick, man. Every time, man.
Oh my
Every
goodness.
time, man. No matter what, they never fail. Just when you think, oh my God, they did it. Ow.
Yeah, yes, sir, Bob. That's what's gonna happen. And so if you were going into the Panthers game feeling confident, because look, we both predicted double-digit victories. We both was like apprehensive about the Falcons. We was like, hey man, I'm happy from what I saw from the defense, but I can't sit here and talk all that shit about JJ McCarthy and then act like what they did was that impressive, even though I was impressed. Because the Falcons have a history of taking games where they're supposed to smoke teams and not doing that.
Oh, of course. We
So,
always do that.
yeah, I thought maybe we could bring that again. But yeah, I think both of us was pretty apprehensive. Ain't that right, Cam?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you were like, well, I don't know about these boys, man. I don't know. I don't know. Um, and that's what happened. We came out, and to be fair, now I knew Carolina was going to come out tough. Even like I said, even though I picked against them, I just hoped that we was going to be a better team. I was mistaken. I fell for some of the cheese myself, even as a 20+ year fan, right? And but Carolina, they were 0-2. A loss is probably meant their season was over.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, and they home against the team they done beat last year. That was the team that gave them all the energy and all the hype. Oh yeah, you better believe them boys was like, hey, we fighting for our season. We gonna beat out the Falcons. But the things you just didn't expect. So now Raheem, um, who uh, who ain't looking good.
Let me ask you this. We are 3 games in.
Let us
Over under.
oh,
Let's do the over under how many games till Raheem takes over play calling duties.
you think he's gonna take over play calling duties on offense? Because I think he can do that.
I think he will. That's why I said
I
let's do
ain't
the
gonna
over
lie,
under.
bruh. I can't even imagine what the record would have to be. Because I mean, if you wait till we 1-5, you wait. It's too late. Like, unless you really think you got, if you 1-5, you think what you think you about to coach this offense to what 8-2?
If I'm being completely honest,
Oh well,
this is how I kind of predicted the
9-2,
season
8-3.
going. This is how I predicted the season going. I had us in my I had us going like 1-5, 1-6,
That you did.
and then us winning a bunch of games.
Hey, I guarantee you the one that you had wasn't the one against Minnesota, and I knew you had to be against the Panthers, wasn't it?
Yes, bro. Yes. That's the one I thought we can't lose this game. But yeah, I had us starting the season off like 1-5, 1-6. Truth be told, like I'm not ready to give up on Michael Penix. He does have to work on some mechanics. I don't think that's going to be completely fixed this year. He's going to have to work on it in the offseason. But there's something there we can work with. Aside from that, dog, the defense is going to have to play well. Zach Robinson going to have to figure it out. That's why I'm saying, like, we might get to the bye week. There's a chance we get to the bye week and Raheem takes over play calling duties. Like, let's say we just
I ain't
can't
gonna
get it
lie.
together.
So you said over under, huh?
Let's say he can't get it together the next 3 weeks. Let's say Zach can't get our offense together and we put up performances just like we did this past week. Let's say he can't do it. Raheem taking over play calling duties over the bye week.
Shit, man, the bye week mighty close, bro.
That's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's a chance Zach can't figure it out. He's a first-time play caller. Jimmy could not figure it out.
We
He was
couldn't
a
figure it
first-time
out,
play
bro.
caller. Raheem had to take over the defensive play calling duties because Jimmy couldn't figure it out.
Yep.
And there's a chance Zach is just going to live by the pistol and die by the pistol.
Yes. Sorry, that was good alliteration to me.
Hey, we're going to see, man. We're going to see. He's going to be on the
Oh.
field.
Oh yeah. We got to point out that was another change Raheem made. So we fired Ike Hilliard this week. Told Zach he got to get his ass down on the field because clearly this communication ain't working with you up in the booth. And so that's why I guess I wanted to give Raheem a little credit, at least for once. He not just sitting back like some sort of victim letting it happen. You know what I'm saying? He like, oh no, it's time to do something now. So hey, Cool was fucking up, got Cool up out of there. I guess Hilliard was fucking up, got Hilliard up out of there, and told Zach to get his ass downstairs because he was like, So at least he going. If he go out, he going out swinging. I give him that. But
you know what? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I remember watching a video about Nick Saban and why he's such a good coach is because he watches everything. Not just the players, not just the coaches. He's watching the staff. He's watching how everybody does everything. He wants excellence from everyone. Because if he sees a problem, he wants to address it when it's real small.
mm-hmm.
When it's not even a problem yet.
Yeah.
When it's just a tiny grain of sand. Or like a better alliteration would be like if it's when it's just a tiny little snowflake.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to address it before it becomes a snowball. And next thing you know, it's an avalanche.
Mm-hmm.
Raheem's going to have to take that kind of approach. I know he's kind of hands off and kind of lets people do their own thing, but he's going to have to be an asshole.
Yo.
He's going to have to say, no. Rumpus time is over. We're doing this my way.
You know
you can
he
get
really
the F out.
Need to coach like it's goddamn like, hey, if the ship go down, if you get fired at the end of the season, are you gonna be satisfied with the fact that you gave up that much control of how your program was run to other people? Or are you gonna grab the reins and say, hey, this is how we doing this shit from now on?
And
which a lot of fans listening right now, they just flip their fucking tables over because they were like, it should have been like that. And you know what though? He saw how it could work under Dan Quinn, being a little more hands off, letting guys run their own units. Now, obviously, we know how it ended, but it did get us to a Super Bowl. That's the closest as a franchise we've ever been to a Super Bowl. And last year he just took Washington to the NFC Championship, doing it that way. So there's merit to it. But like you said, man, and you know what? This is another thing we were talking about earlier, right? Before we got on, I think we were talking about how maybe the Super Bowl, maybe this is a long ass Super Bowl hangover. And most of the guys from that team, that Super Bowl team, are gone. But
I think there's like one guy left. I think that's Jake Matthews.
It's Jake Matthews. He's the only player. We got a couple coaches because we brought him back. But I was saying that the biggest person, who honestly is probably in the biggest bit of Super Bowl hangover, is at the top. It's Arthur Blank, I think. I think for him, there was a certain element of, oh fuck, we just blew the Super Bowl. We could get right back there though, right? And I think he hasn't really had a strong desire to blow the whole thing up, because one of the things I do remember when we were hiring or interviewing Bill Belichick was that Bill Belichick wanted to blow everything up. Now, if you look at the timeline, blowing everything up does not seem very palatable if you are Arthur Blank, right? You got it in your head that you about a quarterback away from winning the championship. False. by the way. That's false. You got it in your head. Your quarterback ready to win the championship. Also, you just had Arthur Smith, and you invested a first round pick in tight end. Top 5 pick in tight end, top 10 pick at wide receiver, top 10 pick at running back. You like, what the fuck you mean blow it all up?
Yeah, because that's how I feel immediately. Like, blow it all up. So trade Bijan?
And
Get
then,
rid of all these people? For
and not,
what?
and no disrespect to the GOAT, Belichick, but like, you know, you kind of had a chance to do that in New England. And look how the fuck that went. And you also, had a quarterback that you took him into his second year without a quarterback coach. And then, and now people think Mac Jones sucked, and I disagree, but whatever. You did that to Mac Jones. You hadn't been able to do anything without Brady for real. It didn't really seem like he had a plan. And then also when they asked him about, why none of his coaches ever went over anybody else and was successful. And then, you basically said an answer that amounted to, hey, these guys just not leaders that way. It's like, well, damn, we ain't even got a replacement for you when you decide to retire. So, I can't blame him for not picking him, but I just think about the fact that I know that there was a desire there to blow everything up, and I feel like that being held as a negative against Belichick is a reflection of Arthur Blank still thinking about 2016 and, still hanging on to this thing that we can get there, even though, there's going to be a way of letting things go. And look, that's good and all, but right now, these guys trying to, make moves for their job, and they doing shit that's just going to continually set the franchise back. One of the things that I keep thinking about every time I think about the fact that we got smoked and we got a lot more games to go, and I don't know how the season gonna go for us. I remember we don't even have a first round pick next year. We don't even have
I can already tell you how it's gonna go, bro. We're gonna start 1-5, maybe 1-6. Rattle off a few games, and we're gonna finish somewhere between 7-10 or 9-8 and miss the playoffs. But truth be told, we'll finish right in the middle at 8-9. So temper your expectations. 8-9 is kind of where we're gonna finish. Truth be told, I think the Saints are our last game. I wouldn't be surprised if we lose to them.
Yeah, that's gonna stop us from getting our first win in the season in since 2017. Go figure, right?
Yeah, and to be honest, it is what it is, man. You gotta temper your expectations, bro. We're kind of stuck in this state of purgatory. Maybe we're still in QB purgatory.
Okay. I was gonna say it's stuck in an abusive relationship.
Yeah, that also kind of is a state of purgatory as well.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to next week, man. I'm looking forward to seeing how this shapes up. Because now that my expectations are tempered, now I'm ready to see how the script unfolds.
You know what? Me too. Like at the end of the day, you just gotta remember it's one game, and that the Falcons could totally like shake this shit up and right the ship. But we got some serious issues that we need to address, and I ain't gonna lie, I got some shaky faith on whether or not we got the right guys in the building to do that. But it's a long season, right? 3 games in, still 14 to go. All right, guys dealing with injuries. You never know how this thing crumbles. You just got to hope your team pull it together and maybe give you something to root for before the end of the year. All right. Well, we're pretty much out of time. Cam, anything you want to say before we get out of here?
This team needs a full factory reset.
Oh, well, we won't get that this year, brother. So we'll just we'll have to keep this one and fix it. We can't buy a new car this year. We got to go ahead. All right, y'all know the drill, man. Like, subscribe, share, comment, hit the little bell. We hit some niggas uploading. Catch us over at X. Sports.com at DAG Loner.